The U.S. losing to Putin, more than 1,000 U.S. military personnel getting kicked out of Niger, an essential military agreement falling apart. Niger, once a major American ally, turning instead to Putin. Russia has been feverishly working to expand its presence, not just in Niger, but across all of Africa, mineral-rich and many, many countries, with one top U.S. military official warning that several African nations are, quote, at the tipping point of falling under Russia's influence. Out front now, John Sullivan, the former U.S. ambassador to Russia. And Ambassador, we have seen this in countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, across Africa. Now you've got 1,000 Americans kicked out of Niger, a 10-year deal over. This was a crucial location for U.S. troops, counter-terror efforts. Putin now gaining ground. Can you explain why this matters so much?
Sure. Thanks, Aaron. It's great to be with you. Yeah, this has been a longstanding problem that the Russians, through their proxy organizations like the Wagner Group, have been working to ingratiate themselves into these countries. It undermines the United States counterterrorism mission. It allows them to expropriate the natural resources of these countries, valuable natural resources, gold, including some that are essential for U.S. national security, like uranium. In Niger, for example. So it's a national security problem for the United States, but it's even bigger problem for all the people who live in these countries, whose autocratic governments are now associating with what amounts to a private military contractor / terrorist organization like the Wagner Group.
And you mentioned the Wagner Group. Before Prigozhin was killed in that plane crash, after his attempted coup, we had marched half of the way to Moscow. He and his mercenary army were, deeply involved in Africa, right? That was where he had actually gotten so much of his money, from all of the minerals and all of the deals that he did, natural resources, weapons running. And can you tell me how active they still are, the Wagner Group, and what are the mercenaries? How are they getting mercenaries there?
Well, Aaron, it's really like a franchise, the way to think of it. The Wagner organization, we call it Wagner, it was really a bunch of corporate shell companies that recruited Russian military, other military personnel to go in and provide security services to autocrats in these countries. The franchise founder has been eliminated by Vladimir Putin, and now they're recruiting more military personnel to go in and undermine security, undermine the counterterrorism mission in these countries, support autocrats, and undermine the West.
So former President Trump has just done an interview with Nigel Farage of the UK, and they talk about Vladimir Putin, specifically Trump's relationship with Putin, and how Trump says things would be very different if he were president right now. I wanted to play the exchange for you, Ambassador.
Is Putin the kind of man we can negotiate with?
Yeah, I think he is.
Do you?
So we did very well with him. Look, I'm the one that was the one, I stopped the pipeline, Nord Stream 2. People don't realize that. They say, I like Putin. I got along with Putin great.
Putin responds to strength.
I don't know. I don't know what he responds to. He responded to me.
Ambassador, you are one of the few now who in these past years have seen Putin and Trump up close. So what do you think about this right now? Is Vladimir Putin right now the kind of person anyone can negotiate with?
Well, I think former President Trump's approach to Putin, like his approach to other world leaders, was highly personal. He wanted to engage in personal diplomacy, develop a relationship with world leaders, including Putin, even when it was inconsistent with longstanding U.S. foreign policy and national security policy. His rationale was that he could develop a relationship and then do good things for the United States. But a leader like Putin can't be manipulated that way. And President Trump thought that he could develop this personal relationship, and it just wouldn't work. Didn't work then, won't work in the future.
All right. Thank you very much, Ambassador. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.